Today's show is brought to you by the Cyrenians.
And the number anger.
No, anger's not a number. Anger's an emotion.
You never let me have any fun.
Look, not today, okay? Welcome to the show! Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Clubber. How are you today?
Fine.
Good. Have you had a little haircut?
Yes.
Oh, hey, I'm super good at noticing things like that. I thought you had. It's nice.
Yes, it is nice, isn't it?
Yeah. So, Mr. Clubber, I think we should get the old show on the go.
In a minute.
Cool. It's just that...
In a minute, Jamie.
Okay. I was over at Greg's house earlier. Greg's had a haircut too, actually. You should see it. He's got shaved bits on the sides and a little pattern on the...
Well, why don't you just marry him then? Seriously, why don't you just marry Greg if his hair's so nice? Why don't you and Greg's awesome hair just start a new life together in matrimonial bliss? Why not just do that then?
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name's Jamie, and this feisty little fellow is Mr. Clubber.
That's me.
And today, we're going to be looking at anger! Everyone gets angry sometimes. It's a completely natural thing to feel. So being angry is, in itself, not a bad thing. Problems arise through inappropriate expressions of anger, or a person's inability to control their behaviour when feeling angry. Ain't that right, Mr. Clubber?
That's right, Jamie. What are you looking at me like that for? Anyway, my bit. Many of us think of anger as an emotion, but some argue that it should be viewed as a secondary emotion caused as a result of a primary emotion. For example, fear.
I'm a ghost!
Or the expression of underlying emotional difficulties.
She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. I will destroy you! The difference between anger and aggression. Hello, Mr. Clubber. I brought you some popcorn.
Thanks, Jamie. But could you come back later, please? I'm feeling decidedly angry right now.
I brought you some popcorn.
I
will smite its ruin upon the mountainside! Although anger and aggression seem like the same thing, they're not. Aggression is, in fact, a response to anger.
Most everyday experiences of anger are short-lived and mild in intensity. A bit annoying, but not enough to make you want to smash popcorn, smash it!
But if someone is experiencing anger, their threshold for aggression may be lowered, making them more likely to respond to an event in an aggressive manner.
Oh, can I have a crisp?
Get on!
So really, to fully understand aggression, we must first understand anger.
Think about the last time you were angry. More often than not, something, a person, or an event caused that anger. These moments are called anger triggers. Oh yeah, Greg's hair. Woofed. Yeah, he's got hair. Your hair's rubbish. Your hair belongs in the bin. But triggers are not the same for everyone. And sometimes even the same trigger can have a different reaction in a different situation. You have really silly hair.
Yeah.
Hang on, are those my crisps?
Yeah.
Oh. So really, it's not about the situation or the trigger itself, it's about how we respond to the situation or the trigger. But this, to some extent, depends on our coping strategies. If we haven't set effective coping strategies in place, like counting to 10, listening to music, or focusing on our breathing...
Stop looking at me!
Then we're more likely to respond in an angry fashion.
Ah!
The cycle of anger has 5 key stages. Stage 1, the trigger phase. You, sir, have a monstrous mullet. Stage 2, the escalation phase. At this point, it's still possible to calm the subject down. Oh, hair? Oh, your hair?
Yes.
It's passable, barely passable at a rodeo. Stage 3, the crisis phase. At this point, feelings of anger have become so intense it's very difficult for the subject to calm themselves down or be controlled. Seriously though, I would literally marry Greg's hair.
You shall marry the pain!
Stage 4, the recovery phase. At this point, it's still possible for the subject's anger to be re-triggered. Sorry, I didn't.
It's okay.
Seriously though, I think Greg must use special shampoo or something because his hair's just...
It's happening again!
Stage 5, the depression phase. At this phase, the subject will begin thinking clearly again. This phase may be accompanied by feelings of regret. You still have silly hair.
Yes.
Instances of anger are often accompanied by physical symptoms or feelings.
I got feelings, you got feelings, your granny got feelings too. She got feelings. When, oh, when will you stop you feelings? What do these strange new feelings mean?
Physical feelings of anger include a rise in body temperature, heart rate and blood pressure, clenched jaw or fists, and a knotted feeling in the stomach. Sweatiness. These symptoms are caused by adrenaline, a drug our bodies produce to help us deal with natural threats. It causes something known as the fight or flight response. When confronted with a threat, the body's natural reaction is to either fight or run away. In modern life, it's not exactly socially appropriate to deal with perceived threats through fight or flight.
Clubbykins! I really would appreciate it if you tidied your room from time to time. This isn't a hotel, you know.
Now, if you're anything like me, you'll enjoy setting off fireworks in the comfort of your own home. But fireworks are also a useful visual metaphor. Let's think of this firework as the cycle of anger. The lighting of the fuse is the trigger event, which starts off the feelings of anger. Like someone scoring a goal against you in FIFA. As the fuse burns, the mind reacts, processing the feelings, slowly getting wound up. And the big explodey fireworky bit? Well, that is the body responding to the psychological effects of anger. Unless these feelings are dealt with and managed effectively, it can lead to... Fireworks are for outdoors times.
Jamie, what happens as a result of anger?
What? Oh, yes, sorry. Well, that depends on how the anger is managed, Mr. Clubber.
Is that so, old buddy, old pal?
Yeah. And remember before we established that anger and aggression are different things. In fact, if anger is managed properly, it can actually help us to be assertive.
Assertive? What is this assertive?
Oh, assertive is when you deal with your feelings in an effective manner, which helps you to be positive and constructive.
Oh, and that's a thing then, is it?
Yes, Mr. Clubber. And we'll be doing a whole episode on that another day.
I shall look forward to that with all the excited anticipation of a young child who knows he shall be gifted a puppy on Christmas Day.
Great. That's great, Mr. Clubber. Anyway, most experts believe that the healthiest way to deal with anger is to vocalise your emotions. That way you can prevent them escalating to a point where they become problematic. In this situation, it's always important to refer to your feelings rather than your perception of the person or thing that's causing the problem. In this situation, I feel like this.
Like a little wide-eyed boy gifted a noble and loyal labradoodle.
Mr. Clubber, in this situation, all this talk of puppies is making me feel slightly aggravated.
Those are your feelings and you are entitled to them. A noble, noble labradoodle.
Fight or flight response is fine when dealing with situations like, let's say, ghosts, for example. But if we use fight or flight response in everyday situations, over time, the fuse required to trigger the anger response will become shorter and shorter until it's little more than a habit. And this can affect our mental well-being, our personal relationships, or even affect us physically.
So, at the end of the day, the moral of the story is, don't be angry, you big angry people, you.
No, Mr. Clubber, that's definitely not the moral of the story.
Oh? It is, though.
Look, have you been listening to anything we've done this entire episode?
No.
Mr. Clubber, your hair is the worst.
Jamie sum it, just look at him sum it. Jamie sums it up, I sum it up.
Anger is a natural emotion to feel. It's only inappropriate expressions of anger that cause problems. The difference between anger and aggression. Anger is a feeling, whilst aggression is a response to that feeling. Unlike being assertive, aggression is a negative, destructive response to anger. If someone's habitual response to anger is aggression, it can lead to lots of personal and interpersonal difficulties in the future. Understanding anger. Most everyday instances of anger are short-lived. More often than not, they are caused or triggered by a person or an event. Anger has a clear cycle of escalation and de-escalation, and at the crisis point of this cycle, it is hard for an individual to control themselves. Anger is an emotional response to a perceived threat, and if we get in the habit of reacting angrily to situations, this will be our go-to response, which again can cause problems for ourselves and others. Physical symptoms of anger. Feelings of anger release adrenaline and stimulate our natural fight or flight response. This can lead to physiological symptoms such as elevated heart rate and blood pressure, and can lead to instances of aggression rather than dealing with anger assertively. Dealing with anger. As we mentioned in our first point, it's perfectly alright to feel angry sometimes. The important thing is to deal with that anger constructively without resorting to aggression. Next time you feel angry, try to deal with it assertively. State how you are feeling honestly in the situation, referring to your feelings and your perception of events calmly and clearly. This is what being assertive means.